way back, and also
For us newbies that are just getting to know you,
yes.
Could you start by just telling us a little bit about your journey in art and some of your earliest memories?
Oh, well, I'll start, I'll make it a little bit short, because it's a long, complicated journey. But, I was a sort of a child artist. I was never really good in school with academics or math and spelling especially, but I could draw, and I always just felt that was something that I was supposed to be doing. But I also grew up around artists and creative people, and had all this support as a young person to keep doing that, which a lot of people who have talent, they don't get that extra support. So I had an extra bit of that growing up. And some really good art teachers in high school and even in grade school back in the 50s and 60s. So I just continued with that. I actually had a small studio when I was in high school in a room that I commandeered beside our house. And I did some work in it. So I was serious as a young person. I was, sort of first really influenced by the ever-present horizon of mine that drew me out. Lived by the beach in Daytona. So a lot of my work has a sense of space and that horizontal line. I'm an artist who doesn't just work in the same, I work in the same style, but different subject matter, like deserts, beaches, and faces of places, which is an offshoot of some other things. So it's that's very late, so I won't get into all the details. But so I've been painting the straight for about 20 years now. I always wanted to learn almost everything I could about the art world.
Well, so I've known you now for about 3 years, and I've seen a lot of variety in your work, but it's always been super whimsical. There's a lot of movement happening, even in the backgrounds.
I sort of describe my style sometimes as being loose-tight. It's got a distance, it's got a sort of tight feel to it sometimes. But when you get up close, the edges are sometimes a little fuzzy, right? Do that. I'm kind of a natural person with an artist with composition. And with that, instead, I put a little academic polish on it and really kind of bring that up to snuff. If you're a painter, I'm kind of a painter's painter. And so you can maybe see that. But I'm always thinking, I'm always working. I have a big archive of work, pretty much everything I've been able to say. But I go back through that, sometimes to evaluate. I'm never afraid to work on something that I started literally, 30 or 40 years ago. Just, go back and, I could do something more like that. So it's all one kind of, once the work is all done, then everything becomes, subject matter in one way or another for the next thing. And I've always been interested in publications and layout and commercial art and kind of blending that and taking a little bit of all these disciplines and putting it into really what this show has become. So I almost had the architect's gene, the architectural gene. I have a little bit of it, and so it's a little bit of architecture, it's a little bit of landscape, and it's just a little bit of pure, abstraction. But landscape and architecture are part of this, and machinery and stuff like that. So it's all. I want to be very enigmatic. That's a real what I was thinking of earlier. And the portraits have that enigmatic quality. And these have that enigmatic quality. I try to have that. It's purposeful. I'm not sure how it works all the time, but it's part of the process. Beyond just the application of paint. I used to work at night a lot. I work kind of all day, a little bit in the morning and in the afternoon. Like I said, I had to do this, discipline to do this show. So I worked a lot in the morning and after that.
So we've had a lot of visitors come in, and everyone's really enamored by the work. But their first question to me is, are these self-portraits?
The answer is yes, but not on purpose, and not consciously that way. But it's sort of it's just kind of the way that I work. But they come out they just come out there, and I'm fine with that because I don't have to be exactly knowing anatomy. I never had that super realism, way of working. Although I did some photorealistic work back in the 60s and early 70s. But, and this, they are that, and they're also, I like to try to convey some mystery and a little bit of androgyny and just, nobody's really looking at anything particular. There's sort of a mysterious presence to some of this stuff. But it's friendly. I think most of it's friendly, except for maybe this guy. They are sort of self-portraits. I just can't get away from them. All this work is about, it's about each other itself. Everything relates. This is like a purpose show just for this space, actually. You can't really see that exactly, but I can tell you how it connects with you guys.
Well, David, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. The work is beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
What is next?
Well, I'm going to be in the Berlin Fall Festival of the Arts.
All right, it's David Fithian here. I hope you all enjoyed that film. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you're a fan. You may have noticed or felt or suspected that there was no script. Diving back into the vast archive of Fithian films was total improv. Hardly any planning at all. And now, in the hands of an artist, these things can just take off. I did want to report there were no injuries and no accidents reported. Again, let me just thank you for watching. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down here by the dog lamp. That's the dog lamp right there. See it? Right there. It's the dog lamp. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the film. All right. So we've got all the notes here to continue on. You might remember that in the introduction, my own experience growing up in Daytona Beach. The young, there's the middle-aged, and then there's the old, kind of like putting it all together. So they were all kind of represented in a certain kind of way. In the film, you may remember I was on the roof, and I was doing a drawing. of the Ben Franklin Bridge, a view from the loft space. And I just happen to have right here, 50 years plus later, the actual drawing that was done for the movie. So there you have it. All right, we came in under budget. Way under budget. We made this film for $60. It's a very exciting film to make. We made in 3 days. It was an involuntary collaboration, meaning that there was lots of fun. So without going into great detail or summations of lots of people involved, although they're not mentioned, but they were there. Developed by Kodak. Loose script as usual. Original soundtrack has been lost, but thank you very much. Okay, that's the deal on that. And at the risk of over-thanking you, thank you very much again. That's the story on that. And I just wanted to thank you for your support, because this is not the end. This is just one of many. David Fithian, filmmaker, signing off now.